Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Egyptian military commanders in Somalia. Pictures are being shared by Somalia state media showing the presence of Egyptian military commanders in Somalia. Under which arrangement is Egyptian military deployed to Somalia? I'm not talking about large scale Egyptian military deployment to Somalia, but who is this commander? Where was he seen? Details for you. Secondly, Oromo Liberation Front has issued a very strong statement criticizing the Ethiopian Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia, PM Abiy, spoke at the parliament 2 days ago. He responded to questions and then he talked about the 2018 agreement between the Oromo Liberation Front and Ethiopian government, and OLF is disagreeing with what the Prime Minister said at the Parliament. And lastly, Fano commander Ziminakasi has released an urgent message. He said the situation demands urgent measures. What did he say? Firstly, viewers, Somalia Egypt military cooperation. It seems that Egypt is going to have military presence, security presence in Somalia in coming years. 2024 is the year when the mandate of African Union transition mission in Somalia will expire. African Union troops are set to leave Somalia. Gradually, they are leaving Somalia, and by June 2024, 4,000 African Union troops will leave Somalia, and by December 2024, all African Union transition mission soldiers will leave Somalia. It seems that in post-withdrawal African Union mission in Somalia, Egypt will be one of the key players in Somalia. It will have military presence in Somalia. For 4 days, some discussions have been held in Mogadishu of African Union transition mission commanders. This African Union mission has soldiers from different countries like Ethiopia, Djibouti, Burundi, Uganda, Kenya. Is Egypt part of African Union's mission operating in Somalia? I don't think so. I'm not aware of Egyptian participation. Maybe Egypt is a new entry, but I did not hear of Egyptian participation in African Union's peacekeeping mission in Somalia. Ethiopia is part of this African Union mission. But in the 4-day long discussions held in Mogadishu, Egyptian military officers participated too. Rather, Egyptian and Ethiopian military officers were seen sitting with each other, with other African Union member soldiers too. So it means that Egypt is now a player in security and defense field in Somalia. And after the withdrawal of African Union troops from Somalia, Egypt will have military presence. Somalia needs this type of support from other countries. Somalia has signed a defense cooperation agreement with Turkey. It happened yesterday. And it is being reported that Egypt is building a military base in Somalia too. Egyptian military presence in Somalia could be concerning for Ethiopia. Ethiopia has long been trying to keep Egypt away from its borders. I think Egypt tried to establish a military base in Djibouti. but this attempt was thwarted by Ethiopia. Egypt signed a military cooperation agreement with Sudan too, and Egypt uh, in talks with South Sudan as well for a defense cooperation agreement. So Egypt trying to encircle Ethiopia, Ethiopia keeping Egypt away from its borders, but it seems that in Somalia at least, Egypt will have military presence after 2024. Maybe during 2024, you'll see more Egyptian military presence in Somalia, especially if Ethiopia does not withdraw from the MOU signed with Somaliland. You'll see more Egypt Somalia military cooperation. Ethiopian troops are also here in Somalia, part of African Union mission and under some bilateral arrangement with Somalia. Maybe gradually Ethiopian troops will be told to leave the country and Egyptian troops and locally trained and local Somalia troops will take over, it seems. Secondly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Front, a political party led by Dawood Ibsa, political wing of Oromo Liberation Army, has issued a statement condemning the remarks, disagreeing with the remarks passed by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, PM Abiy Ahmed, at Ethiopian House of People's Representatives 2 days ago. 2 days ago, PM Abiy responded to questions at the parliament, questions from the members of parliament. And there he said that in 2018, government did not sign any agreement with the Oromo Liberation Front. Rather, it was just a call made to OLF leaders to return home, to lay down arms, and to live peaceful life. To that, OLF responded yesterday. It issued a statement. OLF says that in 2018, an agreement was signed between Ethiopian government and the Oromo Liberation Front. Under that agreement, OLF fighters were due to be integrated into army, and there are other provisions too of the agreement, but the agreement was not implemented. Rather, government violated the agreement and it arrested tens of thousands of workers and members of Oromo Liberation Front. And we saw that in 2018, OLF split into OLF and OLA. OLA, led by Humsa Dereba, started armed struggle or continued armed struggle. OLF turned towards political struggle, but it was not allowed to function freely as a political party. Its leader was put under house arrest. Its members were arrested. And both parties, OLF, OFC, are still under government crackdown. So, PM Abiy is denying signing an agreement with OLF in the past. What impact will it have? Will this statement of the Prime Minister have on the third round of talks between Ethiopian government and the Oromo Liberation Army? How can Ola trust the government? If government is denying a past agreement of 2018, how can Ola trust the government? How can Ola believe that government will honor its commitments if there is an agreement between Ola and government in future? Ola has shared details. OLF has shared details of the agreement. Maybe I think when PM Abiy speaks, he forgets facts sometimes because he speaks too long. If you speak for 2 hours at a stretch, obviously you are bound to make some mistakes. Maybe he made a mistake. But if he's denying that there was no agreement, I think it's not correct. Eritrea played a role too. Back then, Eritrea was hosting OLF leadership, and there was definitely an understanding, an agreement reached between the Oromo Liberation Front and Ethiopian government. All, by the way, armed groups are accusing the government of violating agreements of 2018. ONLF, Ogaden National Liberation Front, also issued a statement this week criticizing the government of PM Abiy accusing the government of violating the commitments made in 2018. Same is being said by the Oromo Liberation Front. Thirdly, viewers, the Fano commander has released an urgent message. His name is Zameen Akasi. He's from Gurjum. Zameen Akasi has released a video message, 11-minute long video message. He says that urgent measures are needed because Ethiopian military has decided to take revenge on Amhara civilians. I think the message has been released in the background of what happened in Miravi. Miravi is Zameen Akasi's hometown, I think. He's from Miravi. In Miravi, after Fano military clashed, military launched a crackdown on the locals. Military conducted house-to-house searches. A dozen were arrested and later killed, shot dead on the streets of Meravi. I was the first one, I think, to report about that massacre. Later, international media, various organizations confirmed my report. So Zamine Kasi is from Miravi. He knows what happens there, and he's saying that civilians are in danger. That is why urgent measures are required. And the urgent measures include people support for Fano fighters. Fano fighters are not stealing from people. They're not robbing people, but people should support Fano fighters financially, logistically, and morally as well. They should join they should join Fano groups. The Minakasi asked PP members too that PP is collapsing. That is why PP members should not be part of military operation. He asked Ethiopian National Defense Force members to stop military operations against Fano. He requested diaspora to support too, and he asked international community. International community should ensure that the Ethiopian government does not receive any money because this money goes into military operations against Amhara civilians. So urgent message, I think, released in the background of what happened in Meravi. The Minakasi, other Fano commanders able to move freely, able to spread their messages, but government unable to locate them. Thank you for watching.